Good morning, students. This is the third video of the chapter Nationalism in India. So far, we discussed the concept of nationalism. We discussed how the World War I created a negative impact on Indians. Thereafter, we discussed the methods that was adopted by Gandhiji, and finally the movement or the small movements that was created by Gandhiji to pressurize the Britishers. Now we'll try to understand the mass movement, how the mass movement like non-cooperation movement started in India, and for that we need to go in the background. It was not that all of a sudden movement started. We need to understand the background of the movement. We need to understand what happened in the past that led to the movement. So one by one we'll try to understand the sequence that finally led to the mass movement like non-cooperation movement. Rowlatt Act 1919. Britishers were ruling the India by passing many acts. So Rowlatt Act was one of those acts that was passed in that period. In 1919, Britishers came with the act. They passed in fact one act, and that act was known as Rowlatt Act, or for Indians it was the Black Act. Why it was Black Act? Because it gave the enormous power to the government to give punishment to anyone, to any Indians, political, without any trial for the next 2 years. According to this act, the government of Britain was empowered to put any Indian behind the jail or behind the prison on the basis of doubt, and there would be no trial for the next 2 years. So that was really a very dangerous act, and that is why it was known as Rowlatt Act or Black Act. Aim of the act was to destroy the national movement by imprisoning the national workers. So what was the objective? Objective was to shatter the feelings, the emotions of Indians, and to destroy any upcoming national movement. And it was completely violation. It was completely going to violate the human rights. That is why it was also known as Black Act. This act was passed in order to curb the fundamental rights of Indians. What was the response of Indians against this act? Gandhiji organized a non-violent satyagraha against this Rowlatt Act. A hartal was organized or observed on 6th of April 1919 all over India. Rallies were conducted, shops were closed down, workers conducted a strike, transport and communication system came to standstill. So we have to understand that in response or in reaction, Rowlatt Satyagraha started all over the country, and this jolted the Britishers from their slumber. Now what was the outcome of this Satyagraha? Britishers were ready to respond this, and when the Rowlatt protest was going on all over India, in Punjab also Rowlatt protest was going on, and as the people were assembled at one place in Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, finally we'll see the incident took place that was known as Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So let us discuss what was the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Here we need to understand that when Rowlatt Satyagraha was going on, it was also going on in Jallianwala, or you can say Amritsar. On 13th of April 1919, a public meeting was organized at Jallianwala Bagh to protest against the arrest of national leaders because of the Rowlatt Satyagraha. Many villagers who came to attend the fair. It was a coincidence that Baisakhi festival was also organized at that time, and many people came from villages to attend the festival. And at the same time, General Dyer, on that day, General Dyer reached there at the meeting place along with the British soldiers. He ordered the British soldiers to fire on the unarmed Indians, and the firing lasted for nearly 10 minutes. You can imagine the number of killings. More than 1,000 people were killed and many were injured. This incident was known as Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So this Jallianwala Bagh massacre was another nail in the coffin of Britishers. First we saw Rowlatt Act, after that we saw Jallianwala Bagh incident. So one by one spark was burning against the Britishers, and these sparks came together to lit a blast of non-cooperation movement. Next movement that started was the Khilafat movement. It was a movement that was organized by Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Those were known as Ali brothers. The aim of the movement was to protest against the injustice done to Turkey by the Britishers after the First World War. We all know that Turkish Sultan was known as the Khalifa or the Messenger of Allah by the Muslims, and he was considered the spiritual leader. And during World War I, Britishers created problem for the Sultan of Turkey. That is why Muslims in India were protesting against the Britishers. So this was the golden opportunity for Gandhiji to unite Hindus and Muslims. So here Hindus and Muslims came together. Gandhiji decided to launch the non-cooperation movement here. Gandhiji decided to launch the non-cooperation movement because the First World War already created many problems. We have discussed that so many sparks were there up to Khilafat movement, and we saw that Khilafat movement was the last spark. Finally, we saw that all these sparks got connected, and finally it led to the mass movement that was known as non-cooperation movement. We all know that finally this mass movement came with certain different incidents like First World War impact, Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, and Khilafat movement. So in the Congress session at Nagpur in 1920, Gandhiji finally adopted the idea of non-cooperation movement. And thereafter non-cooperation movement was launched under Gandhiji leadership in 1920s. So what was the aim? Aim was to protest against the injustices done to Punjab and Turkey and to attain Swaraj. The basic objective was to attain self-independence. Here educated middle class led the movement. In towns and cities, educational institutions, law courts and foreign goods were boycotted. So different methods were adopted, like boycott method was there, resignation from the jobs were there, or returning of title was also there. It is very important to understand that here many peasants organized movement against talukdars and landlords. Tribal people also started an armed struggle in the Godaim hills of Andhra Pradesh, and workers in the plantation area also started a struggle to get the right to free movement. So this movement was really a very splendid movement or a very big movement because it created a deep impact on the Britishers as well as Indian minds. And finally this movement was withdrawn in between because of the one incident took place. It was known as Chauri Chaura incident, and because of that this movement was called off even before that. Let us discuss what were the different strands within the non-cooperation movement, or in other words how this movement created impact in different parts of different areas. Let us discuss movement in towns and cities, how it created its impact in towns and cities. We need to understand educated middle classes led this movement in towns and cities. Educational institutions, law courts were boycotted, even the council elections were also boycotted. Foreign clothes were burnt alive in the bonfires. Government servants resigned from their job. Liquor shops were picketed. But over the time, this movement became slow down in cities. Why? Because the khadi clothes that was adopted, it was very costly. In other words, alternative was not there. Once on one side we decided to boycott all the things, but on the other hand, no alternative system was there. No poor was able to buy the khadi clothes. If the foreign clothes were burnt, then no option was there before Indians. And at the same time, Indian boycotted British institutions like law courts and educational institutions, but alternative institutions was not there. So the people had to stop boycott, and again they joined the old institutions. So this is how finally the non-cooperation movement slowed down in cities and towns. So this is all about in this video. Thank you so much for your